Hey team, it's Taki here. Hope you're doing super well. I'm in Brazil right now, and I want to tell you a story of something that happened to me right here 22 years ago that taught me a ton as I was getting started as a coach. And so just before I tell you this story, it's hilarious. It's one of my favorites to tell. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Let me just quickly give you a tiny tour. So it's sunset here in Brazil. It's gorgeous here. Our house is down there. There's no Wi-Fi or phone signal down there. You've got to come out here to the beach, which is exactly how it should be, to be honest. So I came to Brazil when I was 17. I came chasing a girl who at the time I thought was the love of my life. You know, the truth is she was, my first girlfriend, and that was about it. Anyway, I came here chasing this girl, and the plan was to live with her together forever. And so after I got here, 2 weeks later we split up. 2 weeks later we split up. And which wasn't exactly the plan, but frankly it was for the best. Long term it was for the best. Anyway, so I was completely depressed, totally beaten up and upset about the whole thing, and down on my, just feeling really down, low self-esteem and really hurting, and I didn't know what to do or where to go. I rang home and I was telling my folks about it, and they put a family friend on who was kind of pretty rich, successful, the only kind of real, only business guy I'd ever met, because our family didn't really do that stuff. And he said, Taki, just so you know, there's no shame in coming home. And I said, oh yeah, thanks Peter, thank you. And I hung up thinking there's no way in hell I'm going back. I had way too much ego and too much pride to admit defeat and tell all the friends I made a mistake after telling them I was going away for at least a year, So luckily, one of my cousins had married a Brazilian woman, and her family was up here way in the northeast of Brazil. We're in Bahia right now. And I got this phone call from these distant relatives who I'd never met in Portuguese, which was hard. I didn't really understand it. I had to get my ex-girlfriend's mum to translate for me. That's how it was going. And they said, in short, they said, we heard you're having a tough time. Do you want to come up here and stay with us for a little bit? And I was like, oh, please, could I? And so 2 or 3 days later, one of these distant cousins had come down to São Paulo, where I was, and was going to catch a bus back. And he said, you come with me up on the bus. It was 26 hours by bus. And so I bought a bus ticket and I went up with them. And my life changed up here. And this is so good. Feet wet right now. So I come up here to the northeast of Brazil, and I didn't know anyone. Just embraced me, and they took me in, and they treated me like their son, even though they had no real reason to. I certainly didn't have anything to offer them, and they looked after me. And one of the family members in particular, they had a daughter called Isabella for short, who really was just an incredibly generous listening ear. We'd talk late into the night, and I'd bawl my eyes out, and she'd listen, and didn't tell me what to do, but just kind of help me through and out the other side, Anyway, one of the things you need to know about this area is it's where the cacao comes from. Cacao that becomes cocoa that becomes chocolate. And so the area was super well off a long time ago. But when I got there, they'd had some kind of fungal infection hit the plantations. It was called vassoura de bruxo, witch's broomstick, and basically it killed all the cacao, which meant that the region had almost no money and unemployment was super high. And Bella, this woman who'd been helping me out, was, the family was desperately poor, and she went out every single afternoon every single morning looking for a job. She was great at music, and frankly was just up to any kind of work at all. So she went out every single day looking for work, and then in the afternoon when she came back, unsuccessfully, we'd hang out and talk, and she'd help me. You know, just in the battle, doing her best to get by to help her family. You know, 6 brothers and sisters and all that. So you picking this up? Yeah. Anyway, so she goes. This happened for 6 weeks. Every day for 6 weeks, she'd go out looking for a job. I should also say, by way of background, that nobody in this town spoke English. I was the whitest guy by a long, long way, and I was the only gringo. You know, I didn't speak Portuguese when I got there, but I learnt pretty quick because otherwise I would have starved. Anyway, so Bella would go out every day, and she'd come back every night. You know, having been rejected, you know, a dozen times. You know, no, we're not looking for anyone. No, we're not looking for anyone. No, we're not looking. Anyway, one day she comes home, like jumps through the front door with this huge grin on her face. Taki! Oi, Taki! I'm like, yeah. She goes, Taki, guess what? I'll do the English version. It was in Portuguese, but I got a job. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, congratulations, that's amazing. We hugged, like tears of joy. She's just like on top of the world. Tears of joy. I'm like, Bella, that's amazing. What's the job? She goes, she was all proud. I am an English teacher. I was like, oh my God, what do you mean you're an English teacher? Bella, you don't even speak English. Right? I remember I was the only guy who did. She said, I know, but you do. I'm like, oh, I don't like how this sounds. So, you know, what on earth are you thinking? She said, well, here's what we'll do. I'll take the books home. At night, you can teach me the next day's class. We'll record it, and so I can listen to it that night as I go to sleep. I can listen to it on the bus on the way to work, and I'll teach the class. The kids will hand in their homework, and I'll bring it home, and you can help me mark it. And then that's the plan. I'm like, dude, this is not a good plan. I don't like the sound of this at all. You know, it sounds super dangerous. But you know, frankly, she'd been busting her gut trying to get a job for 6 weeks, probably longer. And this was her chance, so she took it. Anyway, so that's exactly what we did. Every day she'd come home from school. I'd help her correct the kids' work, and then I'd teach her the next day's class. And she would go to school. She'd teach it. They didn't know any better. They didn't speak any English. They thought she was amazing. You know, she was just doing a bad version of what I taught her the night before and what she'd heard on the tape recorder. And we did it. She did it incredibly well. In fact, she got away with it. We got away with it for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, something happened. After 6 weeks, a new student joined her class, and the student had, her name was Rosa, and she just spent a year on exchange in the US. And so as a result, Bella, her English was like this. My cousin's English was like this, and this girl Rosa was like up here. And so one day on Rosa's first day in class, halfway through Bella teaching the lesson that, you know, as best she could, this girl Rosa puts up her hand and says blah 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 blah, some kind of question in English, and Bella didn't have a clue what it was. So she comes home that night. She goes, Taki, I was halfway through the lesson, and this girl put up her hand and asked me blah 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 blah. And I had no idea what she was saying. And I said, oh my God, Bella, like, what did you do? She said, well, I got indignant. What do you mean indignant? She said, well, I threw my shoulders back and I puffed out my chest. And I looked at her and I said, Rosa, who is the student? I am. She said, and who is the teacher? You are. And who decides what I teach, in what order, and when? You do. Exactly. And kind of cut her down and went on teaching the class. I said, oh, Bella, that was clever. I wouldn't have thought of that. Well done, well done. This is going to be difficult. By the way, what did the girl say? She said, in her broken English, she said, I can't remember exactly, but it sounded something like, can I go to the toilet? What does that mean? I'm like, she just asked if she could go to the toilet. Anyway, here's the big lesson. By the way, I want to share 2 things. Stay on the line if you're with me. I want to share 2 things. Number one, I want to share the lesson, and I've got a special surprise for you, okay? Something really near and dear to my heart. So here's the lesson. The lesson is that you don't have to be, like, think about Bella. She wasn't the best English teacher in Brazil. She probably wasn't even the best English teacher in this town. but she was the best in their world, right? She was one step ahead of the student. So I guess the first thing I want to say is this. I want you to get world class at your thing, at coaching, at teaching, at marketing, at selling, at creating content, and all of the stuff. I want you to get world class, right? That's my goal for you. But you don't have to start world class, right? You just have to start. If you can get somebody a result faster than they could on their own, you're qualified to begin this coaching journey, all right? Certified or not, if you can get them the result quicker with you than they can without you, then start helping, start sharing, start getting it. You just have to be one step ahead. Now, is that good enough long term? No, not even close. But it's where to start, okay? There's this old saying that says, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? So if you know something, if you've done something yourself, if you know more about it than anyone else, or you're more about it than most people, or you've helped somebody else through it, get busy sharing your stuff. You don't have to be perfect, right? You don't have to, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it started. So, I don't know where you're up to in your coaching journey, if you've ever looked in the mirror and doubted yourself, whether you're good enough, or you know enough, or you've got enough credibility or whatever. I want you to be like my cousin Bella and just grab the reins and just be one step ahead of your dudes. Okay, so that's today's lesson, today's story. I want to share something special with you. I'm here in Brazil right now, 25 years later, and I have here someone really special. This is my cousin Bella. She doesn't speak English, não fala inglês. She doesn't speak English now, and nem falava quando era professora também.
I speak now.
Oh, no. I speak now. She speaks exactly as much English now as she did 25 years ago. Anyway, this is my cousin Bella. I'm really glad to be here with you. Muito obrigado por ter ajudado a gente e sendo a minha professora de português. I was her English teacher, and she's been definitely my Portuguese teacher. And this is my cousin Bella. Guess what? Even cooler. She's just starting a new business as a coach. Vai ser coach, né?
Beleza, amor. Não consegui aprender inglês com você para falar rápido.
Exatamente. She's going to learn how to speak English fast like me. Anyway, listen, I just want to say big love from me. I hope you're amazing. This is my cousin Bella. She's come full circle. She's going to be a coach. And all you have to be is one step ahead of your students, okay? Big love from me. Take good care. This has been Taki Moore and Bella. Ciao. Out.